We are moving now to the last but not least important part. We are going to two streams, stream B-07 with the Sustainability Lighthouse, and to the large-scale trials and pilots with verticals, which is stream D. I'm Chiara Mazzone, I'm Program Officer at SNS JU, and it is my pleasure today to try to close this seminar with this interesting strands and project portfolio. By the way, those two strands represent nearly 30% of the budget of SNS JU for 2024, so I think they are even more relevant. Let me start first with a slide on sustainability. Actually, sustainability, as we have heard from the seminar on Friday, is a cross-cutting topic, and many Call 3 projects address sustainability under different topics and dimensions. This is also the case for Call 1 and Call 2, and in Europe's vision, sustainability is a key differentiator. What are we working on? We are working on towards a sustainable 6G network, which means that it wants to minimize the negative impact, which we call the footprint of the ICT infrastructure and operations, but equally want to work on the more positive effect, which we call 6G for sustainability, to reduce and avoid the emissions, carbon emissions, or improving energy consumption in other sectors. So actually, when we look at this picture, we have a sustainable 6G that improved efficiency in terms of energy. Energy efficiency has improved and is improving throughout generation, but not only. It looks also at materials of the components. It looks also at land use and other topics of efficiency. It wants to lower overall energy consumption. It looks at reducing carbon footprint. This is what we call scope 1, 2, and 3, and some of the companies present here will be familiar. But it also includes eco-design principles, for instance, for more modular components or for more durable components. And finally, it involves circularity practices, reusing, refurbishing, but also looking at the whole life cycle assessment of a product, for instance. Now, if you go on 6G for sustainability, it demonstrates the technological enablement potential, which means how good technology can do for other verticals, other sectors, which are strategic for Europe, from healthcare to transport, logistics, mobility, or industry 4.0. Sustainability is both a challenge and an opportunity, but we do see a real SNS project-based innovation here, which is the KVIs. You've heard from previous projects. KVIs and KV are key value, and KVIs are the key value indicators that try to measure how values, a value-based approach can be included in the design, conceptualization, and development of the technologies. This is something that comes from you, from the SNS projects, and this is something that at program level, we really want to be successful and to have more impact beyond your projects throughout SNS JU, but also beyond Europe's border and into standardization bodies. Let me go a bit further on. We're entering here on the B-0107 Sustainability Lighthouse. The TRL goes from 2 to 5 at the end of the project, and the scope of this lighthouse is to address both sustainable 6G, as we described before, and 6G for sustainability, and to consider the 3 bottom line of sustainability, which are the environmental dimensions, the benefit to society, but equally the money-making, the economic viability. It also aims to define a reference, sustainability benchmarks and scenarios, characterize better KPIs and KVIs, but equally validate critical technologies for sustainability in experimental platforms and use cases. It also aims to integrate technical solutions which exist from previous projects, previous breakthroughs, but also which are being developed throughout the project into a sustainability end-to-end, we call it set of tools, but that would mean a kind of holistic approach where we can go and take those technologies and see how those technologies work together. It will also aim at providing recommendation, guidelines and standards, and of course, work in complementarity with other SNS JU projects, as said before. It should help build the approach, SNS approach, but equally contributing to the European vision towards sustainability. The expected outcome are technologies and architecture, which can be plugged and can constitute the systemic approach to sustainability, which considers energy, climate, environmental aspects, but equally trustworthiness. We've heard about this in B-08, security from B-04, but equally availability of those technologies, coverage, accessibility for more societal impact, and last but not least, the business models and economic viability. We have said it should consolidate work from Stream D, but equally building on existing KPIs and KPIs frameworks and technologies to integrate, test, and evaluate those technologies, solution, and find synergies. It should reference benchmarking scenarios. It should assess sustainability gains. It should provide and co-define implementation models, how to do this with stakeholders, which are new, and with the end users. And it should proof of concepting specific promising SNS technologies. We already said a word on recommendation, guidelines, and standardization requirements and contributions. And the idea is to have a strategic roadmap for Europe on these, which considers sustainability as an integral part of the 6G conception, development, and deployment. Let me move now to Stream D. So we are shifting stream. These are our SNS JU innovation actions, which have higher TRL, the highest TRL in the whole program, starting at TRL 5 until TRL 7. Why do we call this innovation action? Because we really want to demonstrate the clear benefits of those 5G advanced and 6G technologies with stakeholders. In this call, we have an additional, I would say, layer which through advanced use case, we require projects to bring tangible and achievable results on sustainability, the different dimensions that we mentioned before. We want to assess performance of sustainability. How do we reach certain targets through this framework and through the different benchmarks? And of course, the large-scale trials and pilots should cover the full value chain. We heard here from previous projects, from device to connectivity and services, and acting in a multi-provider hybrid environment where you have private and public networks that come together and where you have to integrate IoT, cloud, edge computing. Naturally, it involves SMEs, scale-up startups, innovators, as well as key industrial vertical players. Let me stop here for a moment. This is super important. This is of the essence, not only to stimulate private investment, but equally to contribute meaningfully to standards. And ultimately, all we want to achieve with Javier and Pablo's presentation on Friday and today is that there's some market take-up that do come out of our innovative actions, projects, and innovations. And of course, they should reuse at maximum outcomes from previous projects, especially Stream C platforms, including any national initiatives which deems fit, and strongly collaborate with other projects and notably the Sustainability Lighthouse. I will go fast on the expected outcome, but I think the most important point is that we want those projects to create ecosystem with verticals that address the real business pain points with advanced technological solutions. So everything that is technologies that can measure the enablement effect of 6G towards reducing, for instance, emissions or proving societal benefits or economic viability will be prioritized. We have to have 6G architectures and technologies that can scale up, that are implemented across heterogeneous technological and business domains, as we said before, due to the variety of stakeholders that are there. We have robust test infrastructure and the validation of core technologies. We have, as in every Code3 project, as we have seen the windows of opportunity, contribution to standards, in this case, really including KPIs and defining viable business models, which can be taken up and presented into industry verticals afterwards. Of course, this validation this time also focused on the technological trends for sustainability, and we asked those projects to showcase this via big and large events. and the contribution from those projects will be directly coming through advanced use cases and will contribute to the SNS actions on sustainability. This is the project portfolio which I've grouped for stream B-0107, Sustainability Lighthouse. We have Sustain 6G, to which I will hand over the floor in a few seconds. The project duration is 30 months. The total project cost is nearly 14 million euros. And then we have two big projects from Stream D, 6G Versus and Amazing 6G. They both have a duration of 3 years, and the total project EU requested contribution is approximately 24 million euros. So these are big budgets, and we have higher expectations since we are arriving at midpoints for the SNS JU, and most of our KPIs relate to the capacity of you, the project coordinators and the project consortium, to deliver on your objectives and to help us deliver on our objectives, and ultimately to make an impact at European level for Europe's competitiveness. So I'm done with my slides. I will stop sharing and I will give back the floor to Christoph Schmelz,